process, and there is value for the agriculture of the tea farming that they are actually engaging Cabinet Secretary, so that we don't feel like we are actually, our efforts go in vain, Cabinet Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to make a Mr. Speaker, if you will allow me, I would like to first of all congratulate Honorable Mutahi Kagwe, somebody that I know very well and have worked with before. So Waziri, I karibisha you to this murky waters of our issues. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I have listened carefully what the CS has said, and I wanted to bring him up to speed on something called pyrethrum. CS, pyrethrum is one of the products that has been historically very useful in terms of upgrading the income levels and economic activities in the areas that I represent, and that is Kisii County.
Senator Onyonka.
Yes.
You know you're a veteran in this house.
Yes.
You know very well that you're supposed to ask a supplementary question in reference to the main question that was asked in this house. I was going
to bring it with macadamia also. I'm just, I don't know what that
means. There is a
a
relationship between pyrethrum and macadamia.
Yes.
Interesting. I would like to hear this.
Thank you, sir. The relationship is that these are two products, macadamia and pyrethrum, have a high value. They are basically products which have got a huge international market, and their prices are extremely well taken care of. If you realize, Mr. CS, at one time, pyrethrum after tea was the largest product that Kenya was exporting, because pyrethrin is a product that is natural, that is used even in aeroplanes and all that. I wanted to ask the CS, why is it that we have got success in macadamia, and to a large extent the industry is growing, and yet our pyrethrum has just died? That is the link I wanted to bring. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Veronica Duarte.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I've been looking for the attention to ask for this question. First of all, let me congratulate our Honorable CS for Agriculture and assure him, Honorable CS, that we are expecting a lot from you, especially because you do come from the farming communities. So the agricultural counties across the whole country are expecting a lot from you. But having said that, I have traveled to the US on several occasions, and I have walked through the largest supply chain, being the Walmart. Our tea products, Honorable CS, I hope your officers can stop distracting you, because this is an important question. Our tea products, our coffee products are not in the US market. And Honorable CS, if you listen to some of the questions that are being asked here, it's about the price of that tea commodity, coffee commodity, and the amount of money that is getting into the farmers' pockets. They have a problem. The price that is being paid for tea per kilo is not commensurate to the cost of living. It's not commensurate to the input that is being put in the farms. Honorable Speaker, Honorable CS, what is the ministry doing to ensure that we access better markets, achieve better prices for our coffee and tea products, and how do we ensure that those prices, once they are paid, that they get into the farmers' pockets, and that we reduce the people, middlemen, who are cutting away money from the bonuses and payments that are due to tea, especially the banks which are taking very high interest rates? Is there nothing the ministry can do to ensure that farmers are receiving, if they receive finance from any bank, based on the guarantee of their bonus or the tea price, that the same is not wiped away by interest rates that are being cutted away by commercial banks? What is the ministry doing to mitigate that?
Let's take one more question from Senator Paul Thangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question, and first of all, is to congratulate the CS. in his role as the CS Agriculture. But my question, Mr. Speaker, we understand when this macadamia ban was effected, the good CS was not the CS then. So I would want to urge him, please do not defend this ban. Do not defend it. Because we do have information, some cartels infiltrated the ministry to have this ban effected so that they can be the sole supplier or purchasers of this macadamia. And since they understand the farmers do not have very nice storage facilities, they will sell to them at a throwaway prices. So, Bwana CS, it is my question, because you have said you cannot announce it today here. And I just want to remind you, if you treat Kenyans abnormally, they will treat you abnormally, Bwana Speaker. What I would want to urge you, give us a timeline when you're going to consult with Kenyans. Just lift this ban with the citation that it never went through public participation, so that farmers can sell their macadamia wherever they want to sell. So my question is, what timelines are you going to consult the farmers so that you can remove this ban? Thank you very much, Bwana CS.
One more question from Senator Wafula.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for this opportunity once more to appreciate and congratulate the Minister for Agriculture for the appointment and a good job being done currently. Mr. Speaker, my question is in tandem and in line with what my friend Senator Onyonka had just put down, that the tea industry, I can see here the stakeholders are clearly comparing notes and exuding confidence on the content about tea. Waziri, I want to request that this similar engagement that is being seen on the tea sector can be extended to the coffee sector in the western part of the Republic of Kenya. Because the coffee farmer in the western circuit and North Rift, Waziri, most of them are not getting anything above 80 shillings as the prices as ought to be. And I'll be glad as a member and the chair of agriculture to organize sessions and platforms in the Western Belt to articulate that particular matter. And as you all know, Honorable Waziri, the production of, good production of coffee, tea, maize, and all that goes in line with fertilizer. I also want to request that that particular part of the country should be addressed, and specifically my concern is in Mount Elgon region, because they don't have the last mile connectivity of fertilizer to Cheptai's Kapsakwony zone, and looking forward to that engagement. And finally, what is your ministry doing to prop up macadamia farming in Bungoma County, Western region, and in particular Tongareni constituency, where macadamia is farmed, but we have never seen the foot of government on the ground? Thank you, Waziri.
What's your point of order, Senator Faki?
Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna swala la malumbukizi ya chai katika auction ya Mombasa kwa sababu ya bei iliyoko juu ya chai hiyo. Je, waziri atafanya nini kuhusiana na swala hilo? Na vile vile pia serikali ilitoa mwongozo kwamba kunwa chai maofisini imefungwa kwa sababu ya mambo ya kukaza mshipi. Je, kuna mipango ya kuondoa agizo hilo ili chai iweze kununuliwa kwa wingi na watu waweze kununua chai katika maofisi? Asante.
Cabinet Secretary.
Let me deal with it's quite a number. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. From the outset, the last question, tungetaka sana watu wakunywe chai sana maofisini na nyumbani, lakini wajua saa ingine hela inaleta shida, na sio tu nyumbani, hata kwa serikali saa ingine inaleta shida. Na tukinywa sana tunaletwa hapa tuzungumzie hiyo maneno na fedha hizo zilitoka wapi na tunapoteza pesa namna gani na kunywa chai. Kwa hivyo Bwana Senator, hiyo inakata na njia mbili, lakini sana sana we would like to encourage people to have as much tea as possible. Mr. Speaker, I will not go by any particular order because there's quite a number of issues to respond to, but I'll try and put some system into it. First and foremost, the issue of Senator Onyoka's issue regarding pyrethrum, and you are right, Mr. Speaker, I had not actually prepared myself to speak on the issue of pyrethrum because I was coming to speak on the issue of tea and macadamia, but I'll say this to the Honorable Senator, that it is true that there needs to be some attention given to the area of pyrethrum, and the government through AFA is actually looking at pyrethrum. In fact, I've gotten some letters from pyrethrum farmers who want me to go and see them and discuss various things, including payments that apparently that they have not received for a while. So I am alive to the fact that there are issues regarding both pyrethrum and cotton that we need to visit the areas and address. And I undertake to do so. But however, having said that, the prices of pyrethrum through the AFA offices have actually been going up over the last 3 years. And you will recall that the pyrethrum issue, started deteriorating because of inconsistencies of production. The markets that we were serving in the United States started looking elsewhere. So if we go into this, one of the issues that we'll have to address very carefully is consistency in production. That once we introduce ourselves to a market, we must consistently supply that market. Because what happens is that once you break the supply, then the markets look elsewhere, and it becomes very difficult to reintroduce them back to ourselves. So we need to look at both growing as well as the stability in the market. However, AFA is in fact providing dryers, among other inputs, to try and help the pyrethrum sector, and also working on the markets that we have. I undertake, as I said, it is not something I was quite ready to respond to, but I agree with the attention that it deserves. And in the issue of the quality of tea, again, in response to the quality, which I had alluded to in the discussion that I had, actually testing has got nothing to do with the quality, and the testing cannot improve or otherwise the quality. What is going to improve the quality is the crop husbandry, and what we do all the way from how we plant and treat the tree, how we especially harvest the tea. Because what has been happening in some of those areas, and that is why in the area address that we made, we banned hawking. And one of the reasons we banned hawking is that once hawkers come into the market, what they are doing is that, and you have heard about it, Honorable Speaker, you have even heard about theft of tea in the Kericho area and other areas, theft of tea. People even plucking tea at night. When that tea comes, because you are unable to tell which part or which tea is that, so what happens is that one bunch spoils the whole, one apple, so to speak, as the song sang. One apple spoils a whole bunch of apples. So if we get one or two errant traders or hawkers bringing in tea that is not good, it messes with the whole crop. So it is in the interest of leadership, it is in the interest of farmers, and we have directed the Kenya Tea Board to ensure that this is done, that restriction, the issue of harvesting is harvested properly. If that is done, there should be no difference in terms of the quality of tea. So, and let's not forget that the buyer of these teas is not ourselves. Kenya is a very small market for our tea. The larger part of our tea market is overseas, and they determine the teas that they want to buy, not us. KTDA does not determine who is going to buy the tea from Egypt. They will simply come and choose their own tea and take it. That's the market. So the issue of the quality is something for us to address, both as farmers, even a security issue, because it is currently even a security issue, where people are stealing tea from farms. So I agree with the Honorable Senator that there is some work to be done there, but the policy framework that we have introduced, some of which I have announced even today earlier, is what is going to be the answer to some of those differences in the tea quality, east, west, north, south, particularly in the west. But the gap is not that big. We just need to be a bit more strict and firm, because what happens is that when you ban hawking, then somebody somewhere who has got that kind of business starts to put political pressure so that we open hawking, and then we go back to square A. So I would like also the support of the House to ensure that when we take those measures, that we stick to them. When we tell the independent tea processors that they must buy from farmers, not from hawkers, then again, we would like the support, of the leadership in the area and the House, so that we stick to that and we don't cave in to political pressure that comes in by those who are the practitioners of what practices that mess up with our tea. Mr. Thanwa, I thank you. Honorable the Senator Thanwa, I thank you. And the issue of the ban affected, first and foremost, let me express something. This ban was lifted for a year. All right? Some time back, the ban on the exportation was lifted for a year. And the agreement was that within that year, then it will not be necessary to extend it again. Following that discussion, the ban was extended for another 1 month. All right? We are now at a place where the year has gone, the month has gone, we are still discussing the ban. That is why I am saying, for me to make a pronouncement on that issue and make a decision on it, it is not a singular decision. It's a consultancy. It is a decision full of consultancy, including the nut people themselves, because if they are able to take up everything we have, then it will not be necessary to open up, but they would have to take it up. So give me the next 2-3 weeks so that I'm able to engage on that, on those issues, because they are profound and important. Again, the chair of the agricultural sector raised the issue of the coffee sector and the control and quality of Western North Rift and so on. In my view, I think the future of coffee and the future of the coffee sector is largely going to be in those areas that large farms still exist. We now know that west of the Rift, Bungoma, places like Narok, Kericho, there is now big farmers who are starting to grow coffee in those sectors, and we want to support them. We want to make sure that we support that sector as much as we can. Again, the quality of the tea, whether tea or coffee, is something that goes to husbandry, and the taste of the coffee or otherwise is what is going to determine who buys that coffee. So it is very difficult to enforce, purchase that does not discuss the qualities. The quality determines the price. And what I would like to see, and what we are working on through the AFA, is also to engage the farmers. As you say, some of those areas are very new coffee farming areas, but we are ensuring that our presence is felt. As early as late as last week, I was engaging Governor Sang in Nandi, who wants me to go and open coffee factories in Nandi, and I have agreed to do so. And in those engagements, that's when we address the issue of quality and say this is the way we must deal with it. The only response to quality and price. When you discuss price, you discuss quality. You never discuss price leaving out the word quality. And you never discuss quality without discussing price. One follows the other, and that's the way the market is. And I think there is a big future in terms of that's where the land is. There is more land in that area. In the traditional coffee growing areas and tea growing areas, the land division is a problem. And they have become such small sizes that the future is doubtful in some of those areas. So even the productivity per acre is another issue that we are having to deal with. Then on the matter of loans, I think I wanted to inform the following, that the green leaf loans, that are given by the board, are actually at 8%. The loan is given at 8%. We also encourage that our farmers borrow from the Agricultural Finance Corporation. The AFC loans are at 10%, you know, and obviously when you go to the commercial farmers, and some farmers do, I couldn't agree with you more, that the interest rates are actually prohibitive. It is difficult to make money borrowing at those kind of rates. But the other way of supporting them is not just by borrowing, it's also the inputs that the government has to put in. And I would like to seek, Mr. Speaker, that we understand as a nation and as a house, as parliament, that there is no country in the world that runs a successful agricultural sector without subsidies. We have to be prepared to subsidize the farmers. We have to be prepared to subsidize the livestock, you know, the livestock people. There is no nation that can do it simply on a commercial basis. If there is no subsidized fertilizer, subsidized seeds, which is the area that I would like to get into now, you know, let's subsidize fertilizer even further than we can, as long as our budgetary constraints expand a little bit, the fiscal space allows